This is Martha Chapman, and I'm back with some more good food for our eyes, for our ears, and for our souls. I was reading about Joseph. And as I'm reading about Joseph, a lot just start being unfolded. Things that I really never paid attention to. And I was just starting to realize that Joseph was 17. He was tending the flock for his father. But Joseph was going back telling on his brothers to the father. Then I realized they were the half-brothers. Joseph was the baby because Jacob, who was Joseph's father, had Joseph in his latter years, so he kind of put him on a pedestal. Well, actually, he was really very partial to Joseph, to a point where he gave Joseph a robe. Not the other sons a robe, Joseph a robe. Now, as you guys are hearing this story unfold, you're seeing that indirectly, Joseph was so innocent. Joseph was 17, being a son, trying to please his father, telling on the brothers, but the brothers are looking at Joseph like, why are you getting this special treatment? Why are you getting a robe? Why is dad so consumed with you? Let's read a little bit. Genesis chapter 37, verse 3, and I'll put the rest in my writing. Now Jacob loved Joseph more than his other children because Joseph had been born to him in his old age. So one day, he gave a special gift to Joseph, a beautiful robe. But his brothers hated Joseph because of their father's partiality. Listen to this. One night, Joseph had a dream and promptly, that means he was excited, y'all. He promptly reported the details to his brothers, causing them to hate him. Listen to what he says. He announced, we were out in the field tying up bundles of grain. My bundle stood up. And then your bundles all gathered around and bowed low before it. Joseph is so oblivious to the division. But you know what? It's not Joseph's fault. It's Jacob's fault. Parents. We can learn a lot from Jacob, because you can't do for one child and not do the same for the other child. If Joseph got the robe, then all the other sons should have had the robe. But Jacob didn't do that. And then he only told Joseph, who was only 17, to watch the brothers. That's backwards. He caused a bridge between the children. And he didn't even know that he was doing that, but he did. And so we can learn a lot from this whole scenario because, one, Joseph was very young. He was only 17. 2, he was the baby. And 3, he was oblivious to being treated special. So parents, let's not make a difference with our children, and let's not cause the rift in the bridge, because ultimately this is what the outcome was. The outcome was the brothers absolutely could not stand their baby brother. But you know what? Those were his half brothers. Let me read this. When Joseph was 17 years old, he often tended his father's flock with his half-brothers, the sons of his father's wives, Bilhah and Zilpah. Half-brothers. That's new revelatory information. So the brothers had been there way before Joseph became the son that was the special son, because he was the baby. And they just looking like, why don't we have the same love and attention that dad is giving to Joseph? Parents, as our children are growing up, and if a difference is made between the children, as the children grow up, a lot of things can come out of that. Division, resentment, and them questioning why. Why wasn't I good enough to receive the same treatment as my brother? So this will be a lesson that we can take from Jacob and not make a difference between our children, because we as parents, our job is to make sure that we love them equally and let them know they're loved the same. And one is not better than the other. So please take heed to this word and not make the same mistake that Jacob made with his children, because Jacob didn't even realize that he was causing the division and the resentment. But he was. And it was costly. This is part 1. There may be a part 3, but this is part 1. And part 1 is setting the stage of what is to come, because there's more to come, and it's costly. And it's a twist involved. How God turned it around for Joseph good, because ultimately Joseph was innocent in all of it. He was just a son being loved, overly considered by a father that had other children. And he made a difference. And it was obvious. So we'll pause on part 1. Be blessed by this word. Take heed, parents, and not cause a strife with your children, because they will not understand the difference. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Please share with family and friends, and be blessed by this word. May it allow for you to have a different thought pattern of how you're treating your children. And until next time, keep shining.